All right, guys, I've got a juicy video for you today. Juicy citrus fragrances to wear all summer long. So summer's around the corner and these are gonna come in handy in the summertime when it's hot and humid and you wanna be refreshed with the juiciest citrus fragrances of all time. Find out what they are coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian talking to you about the juiciest citrus fragrances. Do you enjoy citruses in the summertime? Do you wear them all throughout the year when it's even cold outside? You know, I think in the wintertime, they do give you that kind of a blast of sunshine, the juiciness, the uplifting effervescence. But in the summertime, they really come in handy to refresh you from the heat that's outside, the really intense humid heat that some places get. So yeah, I do enjoy citruses quite a bit. I am from the Mediterranean. Really love lemons, you know, oranges, tangerine, mandarin oranges, you name it. Even grapefruit, bergamot, very, very popular citrus. And I've got 21 fragrances here for you guys today. Let's get started with the first fragrance, going to the house of NISHANE. This is HESPERIDE COLOGNISE. This is the third in the series of COLOGNISE fragrances. There's the original, there's the saffron. This is HESPERIDE. This is full of juicy citruses, lots of them. There's bergamot, lime, orange, there's cashmere, cedar, iris, jasmine, and you've got some mossy woods and earthy woods in the base as well. Very juicy, very citrusy. It's different than the other two, but still in the same kind of ballpark of citruses. But I find this one to be uber citrusy and also very, very clean. Super, super clean. If you haven't tried this one, please do. Again, it's the third flanker in the COLOGNISE series, and that came out like a year or two ago. Next is a long-standing fragrance for me. Absolutely love this fragrance. It's from the house of LABO. It's Bergamot 22. One of the most beautiful, one of the most gorgeous fragrances that has ever been created. Sure, it's light, so wear it when it's really hot and liberally spray this juiciness. But I love the bergamot here. It's the star. You have all of its floralcy in full bloom when you wear this fragrance. But along the way, you have other citruses, citrus floral notes, even the leaves of the orange tree. And you've got some earthy vetiver woody notes when it's drying down. So, so juicy, so beautiful. I wish it lasted a little longer, but I mostly pull this out when it's really hot outside. But in the wintertime, I put my nose to it. It smells amazing. I love it. Bergamot 22 is one of the best smells ever. Then moving on to the house of MANCERA. It's SOLEIL de Italy, this one right here. The sun of Italy, where all the citruses grow under that sun. They bloom, they blossom, develop into fruits. And this captures those citruses here perfectly, but this one's also meshed or married with watery notes. So you've got this kind of a fresh citrusy experience with the juiciness of the citruses. Then you also have these watery notes that are in here with musks to give you a very fresh, kind of like rained on with citruses effect. It's really, really watery, and I like that here. And you get that very refreshing experience with not only the citruses, but the watery touches or aquatic touches as well. Throughout the life of the fragrance, you've got some spices, some woody notes and things like that, some floral notes as well. But for me, it's mostly about the citruses and the watery notes. So that's SOLEIL de Italy from the house of MANCERA. Next, going to the house of AQUA di Parma. It's Bergamotto di Calabria, this one right here. So before I talk about this one, I do want to pick up two latest releases from the house of AQUA di Parma. I think Buongiorno is one that I want to pick up. And the one that came out before that, it's like an intense version of their original. Both of those I sampled recently at Neiman Marcus. Really great fragrances. Buongiorno actually reminds me of Torino 21. If you haven't tried that, if you're looking for an alternative, check that out. I also sampled 3 relaunches of fragrances in the blue bottles I felt like were underwhelming. But the 2 that I've talked about, I'm definitely going to pick them up when I find some deals. But going back to this, Bergamotto di Calabria, really wonderful, juicy bergamot fragrance once again. Again, bergamot is easier to wear. It's used a lot in fragrances, mostly top notes, but here it's the star. It is in the top notes, obviously, because it comes in the top notes. That's where citruses mostly live. But since it's a prominent note, this is what you're experiencing here. Along the way, there's musky touches and also some woods thrown in there as well. A bit of floral touches, and you get the floral seed, as I said, from the bergamot here. It's quite juicy and very, very invigorating and fresh. So this is AQUA di Parma's Bergamotto di Calabria. Let me know if you're familiar with that. All right, we've been to Italy. Now we're going to the Riviera, perhaps in the French Riviera. This is Citrus Riviera from the house of BDK Paris. So they have a series of 3 fragrances focused on freshies, I should say. They've got the citrus, they've got a neroli, and then they also have a salty fragrance. But I picked the citrus here, obviously, because we're talking about juicy citrus fragrances. And this is an overdose of citruses here. We've got lemons and mandarin orange here, mixed in with neroli orange blossom, the beautiful floral note from the bitter orange tree. And it's an amazing fragrance there with those notes. The citrus is combined with what actually produces them, the blossoms, and then you also have some aromatics and woods thrown in here as well. Really refreshing, very invigorating, totally juicy. The lemons are tart, the mandarin sweeter, balances each other out, and you throw in the flowers. Really wonderful smell. So it's Citrus Riviera from the house of BDK. We're going to the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian next. This is Aqua Media Cologne Forte. Even though this is herbal, because you've got the verbena here, there's a very juicy quality about it. Verbena to me is not necessarily juicy because it's herbal. It's an herb. It's an accord according to the MFK website. So they've created it with an accord. So most likely they're combining citruses to create this kind of a herbal, juicy effect of the verbena. But there's other juicy, citrusy notes in here. There's bergamot, there's musks, there's hedione, and a few other notes. But it's a really, really invigorating fragrance. A bit leaning green, but also herbal because we've got herbs, sweet fennel, and also verbena in here to create this kind of herbal experience. It does give you a bit of a tea effect as well, lightly hinting at MFK's or Francis Kurkdjian's creation for Elizabeth Arden called green tea. But this is a more citrusy and more vibrant take on something like that DNA. So Aqua Media Cologne Forte from the house of MFK. Let me know if you're familiar with that. This next one is a great creation by Francois Dumarche for the house of Givenchy. Came out in the late 2010s, and I didn't buy it in the original bottle, and I found a deal recently. I had to snatch it up. It's a bit classic leaning. It's Eau de Givenchy from Givenchy. And, you know, Francois Dumarche, we've been talking about lately. He did such a great job over at Dior for the Privé collection, and also the original signature line of fragrances. And he also did a great job with this one. It's a bit like eau de cologne-esque with a lot of bergamot. There's oranges here. There's orange blossom, lemons, mandarin, also musky notes, neroli, petitgrain. It's a who's who of citruses. Very juicy, very clean, very soapy, and also very, very refreshing in the summertime. Just liberally spray this stuff on. It's really, really wonderful. In the past, I had worn decants. Thankfully, Barney's gave me decants of that, and I always wanted a bottle. I finally have it, and it doesn't disappoint. Next, going to the house of Annick Goutal, or I should say Goutal Paris. This is Eau d'Adrienne, a classic that's been around forever. It's definitely a classic now. Everybody knows about this one. This is definitely one of my very first niche fragrances. Annick Goutal was one of my very first niche, house finds, and I love this house. Really, really respect it. They've gone through some challenges lately, and also the brand is now being distributed by Interparfums. I believe this is a new licensing deal. So thankfully they are going to be around. I love this brand. I don't speak about them much, but I need to circle back to them. But this is a classic. It's been around. Most people know about it. And it's, for me, like lemon drops. If you are a fan of drinking lemon drops or limoncello or fragrances like that, minus the alcoholic experience, you're gonna have to try this one. It's a tart, astringent, sour lemon with a lot of woods and other citruses together. And for me, the sour fragrances work best in the humid heat. It really tones down the humidity with its astringency. I love that about this fragrance. Eau d'Adrienne from the house of Goutal Paris. Let me know if you're familiar with that. All right, next going to the house of Javoy. This is Aqua Memorabilis, this one right here. This is their latest fragrance, by the way. Let me know if you've tried it. They've been focusing on more lighter fare lately, although when the fragrances launched for the first time from that house, they were more beefier, more intense, like Psychedelic, Private Label, and Diplomatique, the fragrance, I'm drawing a blank with that name. But now we've got Aqua Memorabilis. It's mostly a very spicy, juicy take on citruses with woods and earthy notes in the dry down as well. And it's a who's who of citruses here. Once again, we've got clementines, grapefruit, bitter orange, really juicy, combo of these different citrus variety of fruits, and these are dominating this fragrance. And then it's meshed with the woods and the dry down along the way. You got some spices that come in. So it's Aqua Memorabilis from the house of Javoy. Next, we're going to the house of Atelier d'Azur. This is Blanc Polychrome. This one right here. This is the only bottle they have in the collection, which is this. And I love the way the gold matches the cap. Absolutely love it. It's just like, for me, it's very balanced. That's my Libra side. Even though I'm a Virgo, I'm on the cusp and I have some Libra tendencies, and I like the balance of this bottle, and I think it's a gorgeous bottle. And also the juice inside is really, really delicious and very, very refreshing and totally invigorating. Lots of mandarin here, lemons, rhubarb. There's a solar accord, there's Petitgrain, jasmine, fig leaves, and lavender. So it's utilizing a lot of aromatics and spicy touches, along with a lot of different citrusy notes as well. There is a tartness about this that I really like as well, and I also smell the lemon peel or the skin of some kind of tart citruses. And I like that contrast here when I'm wearing it. It's a really, really wonderful offering. It's Blanc Polychrome from the house of Atelier d'Azur. Next, going to the house of Diaz and Durga. This is Grapefruit Generation, this one right here. And Grapefruit Generation I bought at a store, and I don't think I got a discount on it. I think it was full retail, which I should have bought from FragranceNet. But I was being nice to the retailer. I won't say which retailer it is. But this one actually, I like its juiciness because there's a few other grapefruit fragrances that I've fallen in love with. When I wear them, they don't come off juicy. They come off dry and more of the skin. This one actually has the juice in it. It wears juicy, and I like that. In the summertime, you want that juicy, wet experience. And it really totally refreshes. So this is not only grapefruit, there's a pomelo skin here, there's paradison, there's musky touches, really great. Also layers with some more like a suede leather type of fragrances. I felt the combo was great, but it was an accidental layering combo. But on its own, it's just very, very refreshing and very, very invigorating. And I like that bitterness in here that's thrown in with the juiciness as well. So this is Grapefruit Generation from the house of Diaz and Durga. Then we're moving on to the house of Goldfield and Banks' Bohemian Lime, utilizing the finger lime note. This is finger lime and also bergamot. It's so juicy. Really, really love the juiciness, but also there's a zing in here. There's a spice, and the coriander in here comes off a bit zingy like ginger. And then when I wear this one, I get the experience of like sipping on a Moscow Mule in like a hot day outside, cool bar inside, this frosty kind of a liqueur of Moscow Mule with its, invigorating juiciness of the citruses and the aromatics thrown in there together. It's a great, great fragrance. It smells really great in the heat, by the way. It's so good. And the finger lime is an unusual note. It really, really works here. Bohemian Lime, one of the best from Goldfield and Banks, by the way. All right, next up, going to the house of Louis Vuitton with one of their most amazing fragrances. It's a freshie, and it's definitely really, really gorgeous. It's super, super sexy. It's mandarin orange, orange and bergamot and ginger and ambergris, and it's Afternoon Swim, the best citrus in the collection. And I hear that they're bringing back Sunsong. Is this true? I have a backup bottle of it and plus my half bottle, because I remember when that was getting discontinued. We'll see if it's reformulated, but still, I think to this day, this is the best citrus in the collection. I really love it. There's a really cozy, calming quality about it, and a super sexy name with it, Afternoon Swim. I would love to go on an afternoon swim and jump into or dive into the pool, the splash, come out and then spritz a bunch of this fragrance on. I just love that visual. But it's a great fragrance. It's light. Wear it when it's really hot outside, but super amazing and very, very juicy citrusy. It's Afternoon Swim from the house of Louis Vuitton. And staying in the same family of LVMH brands, this is Celine's Parade. Another really, really great citrus fragrance from a designer house. They did such a great job with this one. This one is combining a lot of juicy bergamot, and then they've thrown in a lot of neroli here as well. And the neroli adds the floralcy, of course. It's a citrus floral note, but it actually brings out the floral touches in the bergamot, I think, and it makes for a very floral citrus experience, and I love that about it. But it's totally juicy and super, super sexy, like Afternoon Swim. This also has some musks and oak moss in the base, and it's a great, great invigorating fragrance, and one of the best from Celine, I still think. It's Parade from the house of Celine. Let me know if you're familiar with that. Then we're going to the house of Fleur. This is Tangerine Boy. Are you guys familiar with Tangerine Boy? I like the name. It's a fun name, and it's also a fun fragrance and utilizing juicy citruses once again. This also has apple fruitiness in here mixed in with like the lemons and tangerine, and there's ginger and spicy notes as well. Really great fragrance, really wonderful name. It's an underrated brand for me. But let me know if you're familiar with Fleur's fragrances. I think they did a great job with the citrus fragrance. And it's uber juicy and very, very invigorating with that light hints of citruses and musks that come in. I wonder why this is not closing very well, but that's the bottle. It's Tangerine Boy. Let me know if you're familiar with that. But moving on to the House of Xerjoff, this is Torino 21. So Torino 21 definitely is the best Torino fragrance, although I don't have too much experience with the 24. I don't know. Are the other ones as good as Torino 21? I find this to be very juicy, but also giving me like a lemon mint tea experience or vibe. And I like that about it. I grew up drinking lemon mint tea. It's kind of a tea that I'm familiar with. I'm not drinking it much anymore, but this gives me that kind of an effect. And remember, I mentioned Acqua di Parma has Buongiorno now. That reminds me of Torino 21. Not identical, but it gives me the Torino 21 vibes. But this to me is awesome. I really love it on me. Again, I love the juiciness, the aromatic herbal touches of the mint and the basil, and the musky notes in the dry down. They did such a great job with Torino 21. That is from the House of Xerjoff. Then we're going to the House of Byredo. It's Sundazed, this one right here. And again, this is an older release, but they did such a great job with this one. I really, really love it. There's a bit of a playful candy vibe in here, of a cotton candy note, but in the end, it's a lot of citruses with mandarin and floral notes, the citrus floral notes, and, you know, white floral notes as well. I think Byredo does some great fragrances. I think they smell great. A lot of people complain about their longevity, which I feel like they're marketing to a certain type of people that don't want like these very intense fragrances, but really great smells. And they usually utilize the assistance of Jerome Epinay, and I think he's a great perfumer, especially doing great work for Byredo. I'm not 100% sure if he did Sundays, but whoever did it, it's a great citrusy fragrance. Total juiciness there with that fragrance. Next, going to the House of L'Orchestre Parfum. This is Electro Limonade, this one right here. Are you guys familiar with this house? They have some great fragrances. We have one of their fragrances in our recent kit. It is the Cocktail Appalachius fragrance. If you haven't got that kit, please check out the kits. I have it linked in the info box. But this came out several years ago. This is a very juicy take on lemons, but it's a bit sweetened and also creamy under there as well. There's not only lemons here, but there's also the note of clementine, there's orange blossom, there's rhubarb, there's mint, and it's a really great, very fresh, invigorating, juicy take on with slight creaminess under there of citrusy fragrances. I like the name, Limonade. It's Electro Limonade. Again, this brand is inspired by music, and I think you can kind of get the vibe of something musical playing when you're wearing this fragrance. Maybe you won't, but I kind of do. But this is the Electro Limonade from the House of L'Orchestre Parfum. So even though this is not focusing on citruses, it's a very citrusy fragrance. It's focusing on vetiver. I'm talking about Juliette Has a Gun's X Vetiver. It's basically lots of citruses, lemons, bergamot with musk and ambroxan, an overdose of vetiver. So the vetiver is the star here, but it's a very citrusy take on vetiver. It's nicely balanced. If you can't do vetiver, if you want fresh notes, this is the kind of fragrance I would pull for. It's also, you know, got the ambroxan and musk in the dry down. Perfectly done, very easy to wear, earthy, woody, grassy, and then also very juicy, citrusy. X Vetiver from the House of Juliette Has a Gun. Then going to the House of Frederic Malle. It's Cologne Indelible, that one right there. This is a fragrance created by Dominique Ropian. Does give me some vibes of Eau de Givenchy. I don't know, they're not the same, but this is kind of a similar style. So it's kind of a classic Eau de Cologne style fragrance, but this is Cologne Indelible, mostly utilizing a lot of neroli and orange blossom. There's also citruses like bergamot and lemon, floral notes and musk thrown in. Really wonderful, juicy citrus. Very, very refreshing, invigorating, and also uplifting. It gives me a boost of sunshine. If you haven't noticed that with citruses, try them. Just try them and smell them. You'll get that. Even play around with the fruit themselves. They're just very, very uplifting citruses and fruits and things like that. So that's Cologne Indelible from the House of Frederic Malle. And then we're going to end the list with the latest release from the House of Balmain. This is Blanc Galaxy, this one right here. I did a video on this house. Not many of you watched it. Is it a kind of a no house? I mean, are you guys not interested in this house? Let me know your thoughts on the fragrances of this house. But this is a really great fragrance. It's really perfect and very, very juicy. And I get 7-Up vibes with this one, which is kind of fun. There's some effervescence thrown in. But this is lots of citruses, once again. It's Cedrat, there's bergamot, there's lime, there's green mandarin, there's Buddha's hand, along with magnolia and myrtle. And in the base notes, we've got some musk and patchouli. But it's all lots of juicy citruses. It's also very clean and pure. Kind of get the white bottle effect happening here. I think the perfumer did a great job. I didn't know who the perfumer is, and somebody wrote it's Rodrigo Flores Roux of Gévaudan. Is that true? But whoever it is, they did a great job. It's Blanc Galaxy from the house of Balmain. And that's the last fragrance for you guys. What are your thoughts on these fragrances? Let me know. Put a comment down below. Yes, we are almost to summer. It's going to start getting really, really hot. And these are the fragrances that's going to be perfect to cool you off. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances, and let me know if you have another favorite citrus fragrance that you're going to be wearing. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye. So I do want to offer one bonus option. This has been vaulted by the brand Commodity. I don't know why they did it. It's probably one of their best fragrances, and they vaulted it. I don't know who makes these stupid decisions, but this is one of my favorite fragrances, one of my favorite citruses. It's Nectar. When I went to New York City for Scent Explorer last year for Juice Boxes 54, I stopped into the Commodity store or boutique. There they mentioned that they have, I actually got a bottle of the vaulted version of Nectar, which I haven't opened yet. I might have to do an unboxing of it. But if you love the idea of juicy citruses with a lot of floral notes, this is definitely one for you to try. It does hint a little bit at Jo Malone's Orange Blossom cologne, but this is a bit more depth and also a bit more floral and also a lot more juicier with the citruses. It's a fantastic fragrance. Write to Commodity and tell them to bring this back. Put the dang thing in their regular collection, because this is one of the best citrus fragrances, and I don't know who thought about putting it in their vaulted fragrances. You can get the vaulted fragrances, but they don't have them available all the time. That's why I'm kind of complaining here. But let me know your thoughts on this if you haven't tried it. It's such a great fragrance. Nectar by Commodity. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for another video soon. Bye-bye.